Comic books are a very important source of entertainment for a lot of people. They've been around since the early 1900s. Comic books are for everyone. Everyone likes to read them, play games from them, or watch movies. The beginning of comic books started in 1933, which is a very long time ago, which is almost 83 years ago. And I'm pretty sure none of us were alive at that time. But that's when it started. Comic books didn't get popular until 1938, which is a few years after it started, when Superman came into action with Action Comics in the newspaper. Comic books have a lot of publishers like Dark Horse Comics, Image Comics, and Archie Comics, which a lot of people know of. But there are two major comic book companies known as Marvel and DC. They've been in a war recently over who is popular, who makes more money, and who makes better movies, but that is up to the fans to decide. They've been at a war for so long that there have been times where in the comics they copy each other back and forth. Like for one character, Slade Wilson and Wade Wilson. Slade Wilson is from DC, while Slade Wilson is from Marvel, and they both are the exact same thing. They both have the same jobs and unique abilities. And they've done this multiple times with other characters such as Aquaman and Number, who are both water-based heroes. First, let's start off with Marvel, which is a very well-known company for comics, games, and movies, even clothing. They first originated in 1939 with the amazing, with the Ultimate Iron Man, which originated in 1939, which was their first superhero, Tony Stark, as Iron Man. That was 80 years ago, and that's a very long time ago. And Marvel started off as a small company with a bunch of small artists, which grew really big and made a lot of money. But there was a time in the 1900s where they went bankrupt and had to sell their character rights, like Spider-Man and the X-Men, to other companies to get money. So now when you see movies like X-Men or Fantastic Four or Spider-Man, they're not from Marvel Studios. They're from Fox, Sony, or Universal Studios. But now Marvel is owned by Disney, which is a monopoly who likes to buy everything they see. Next is, before we go to DC, let me mention some characters from Marvel, which is like Iron Man, Spider-Man, Thor, Black Panther, Captain America. Very important characters that a lot of people know. Next is DC Comics, which originated as Action Comics, but then went to DC, which stands for Detective Comics. And they're known for characters like Batman, Superman, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman, and they're also very important characters these days with their movies, games, and comics. They started in 1934, 1 year after comics were originated, and they were created by Malcolm Wheeler Nicholson, which was a veteran in the cavalry back in 1920. It was a long time ago, and they're known for being more darker than Marvel. They have a darker story, more deaths happen, more serious things happen than Marvel, which is pretty interesting to know. Next is comic books and cinema. Every year we always see superhero movies in cinema, like Iron Man, Spider-Man, the Avengers, Justice League, Batman, Superman, and they all bring in a lot of money. But those movies aren't always comic book accurate. And like Endgame. In Endgame, in the end it shows Iron Man risking his life to save the world, which never happened in the comic books. In the end of the Infinity Gauntlet saga, it was Adam Warlock who saved everyone, and he's not even in the movie. So the movies are never comic book accurate. but their movies play a pretty big role in our entertainment. They always bring in billions every year for every movie they make, always bringing in a lot of money. So to conclude, I wanted to talk about two major companies that are important to all of us. We watch their movies, we read their comics, and they've been there for us since we were little kids. The movies are pretty big and they're fun to watch, and those two were my favorite companies. I read their stories a lot too, and I just wanted to inform you about their origins and their movies. And that's it.